Wars Episode 1 was released in 1999 and is the fourth Star Wars movie to be released, as well as the first one that begins the prequel trilogy to the original trilogy beginning with A New Hope. As I've mentioned, this trilogy specifically is going to have the most nostalgia for me, especially Episode 2. Episode 1, I was quite young when it came out. But I didn't have too much interest in the Star Wars series. I'm laughing because when I say I didn't have much interest, I mean I had even less than I do already or later on kind of thing. Basically, I had no interest at that point. So it took me a while to get into the movies in general. But I will certainly remember more watching them as, a younger film viewer than episodes 4, 5, and 6, which I had never watched at all before I started with episodes 1, 2, and 3. There's a few things that there's a few things that definitely stand out about this film and always have. One of the biggest ones being the speed race. The speed race was always my favorite part of episode 1 specifically, and the part that I would fast forward to the most. This film didn't really offer anything that I don't remember this time around. Like, I don't love this film any more than I did before. This doesn't bring back the excitement of, wanting to dive deep into the Star Wars universe any more than rewatching the last films did for me. Actually, rewatching this one, I'm starting to appreciate the older trilogy much more because of its groundbreaking spectacles in comparison with this one. Everybody always compares about the Phantom Menace being the most political, and when you put it on and the scrolling screen text comes up and all of a sudden it starts talking about trades, and it starts off with, we sent Qui-Gon Jinn and Obi-Wan Kenobi to go handle the trades and taxes situations because planet Naboo has been cut off from trade systems, and I'm like, what? Yeah, I can see what everybody was talking about. Like, they really did load up this film with a lot of shit that nobody cares about. I also certainly know of everybody complaining about Jar Jar Binks, and I haven't seen Star Wars Episode 1 in decades, so I remember him being annoying, but I thought oh man, I'm in for a treat at the annoyingness of this character. The Star Wars universe is filled with annoying characters. Right? Jar Jar Binks isn't horrible. I mean, people consider this the most annoying character in cinema history. To those people, I say, go watch a movie called House by the Cemetery and see if that little kid in The House by the Cemetery by Lucio Fulci doesn't make you want to rip your hair out. He is way worse than Jar Jar Binks could ever be. I know there's a lot of people who also claim that his character is low-key racist, and it's, his character is designed or speaks in stereotypes of African American people. I don't know. I don't have an opinion on that, to be honest. George Lucas has sworn that he didn't have that cross his mind at all when he was creating Jar Jar Binks, and I like I said, I don't have an opinion on it either way. It's just something I heard, and it is what it is, I guess. And after not watching this film for a long ass time, I can still say that the speed race scene was the most entertaining and really the only one I cared about. Another character I find actually even more annoying than Jar Jar Binks, to be 100% honest, is Anakin. The way he delivers his lines, they live on the moons of Yayo, I think. Fuck. I had a dream where I came back here and freed all the slaves. And I know that plays a little bit into episode 2 because I remember him when he starts falling into the dark side, he starts to go back to his home planet or whatever and slaughter a bunch of innocents. Anakin's mother, which the way she was speaking about how she got pregnant with Anakin and everything, is she supposed to symbolize the Virgin Mary? Because that's what I got out of it. I mean, she had a virgin birth from the sounds of it because she said that she kind of just happened to birth Anakin with no real backstory. And the way she was speaking, I don't know if that's exactly what George Lucas was going for with her character, is to suggest that she's like symbolic to the Virgin Mary somehow, but that is what it is. I really did enjoy seeing Warwick Davis pop up in this film. He's in the background when the speed race is going on. Sebulba is a hilarious character. Watto is a hilarious character. I remember all these characters too, more so than I did with the old films, because when this film came out, I remember that Pepsi released their cans with each character on them, and they were like a collector series. And I remember being a little kid trying to get all of them. Never ended up doing so, but a lot of the characters in this film I do remember because of those Pepsi cans, which is really random, but fun fact. And I like seeing C3PO in here, like half built or three quarters built, where he doesn't have his gold plates on his body. It's just like wires everywhere. And I always thought that was a much cooler look for C3PO. Watching the older movies, I'm like, he's still cool, but especially as a kid, especially when I was younger, I'm like, C3PO looks way cooler when he's not complete, funny enough. The scene at the beginning where Qui-Gon Jinn uses the lightsaber to get through the door and he's trying to melt the door. In comparison to the older films, those lightsabers would basically melt a human real quick. And when he puts this thing on the door, he's just waiting there and waiting there for the steel to basically burn off. And I always question that scene, like, shouldn't these lightsabers be way stronger because of how they portrayed them in the last movies? But then I started to think a little bit deeper and I'm like, well, these are prequels, so maybe the lightsabers aren't as enhanced as the other ones. That's just a random theory, random thought, but probably not important. And I had forgotten about the whole underwater core of the planet, the city Otagunga on the planet Naboo. Totally forgot about that scene, but it was really cool when they were going through the planet's core with the vehicle. Even though the CGI, looking at it today, when we have like Avatar coming out and stuff like that, it's pretty cartoonish. Still enjoyable cartoonish, but cartoonish nonetheless. I never liked Darth Maul, even as a kid. I thought he was dumb looking. And then the Sith that they have in this, I always consider him a Sith because he looks like a Sith, but his name is Senator Palpatine. I don't know how him and the Sith are connected, but they look the same, so it is what it is. Not much to say about this film because, like I said, it didn't blow me away, it didn't impress me, and it didn't draw me into the Star Wars series very much. I still am the casualist of casual Star Wars fans there is. I will throw on Lord of the Rings any day. I don't care who wants to shoot me over that. I'll watch Lord of the Rings over Star Wars any day, and I've always felt that way, so never really cared about the Star Wars universe like some people, like especially diehards, do. So it was an alright film. I didn't expect more and I didn't expect less from my last viewing decades ago as a kid. And even the story, like in this one, it's just so convoluted with the whole political shit and the taxes and trades, and I'm like, why? I really like, just, you have like my borderline attention and now you're gonna throw in shit into a Star Wars universe that I care even less about. Like, come on. But hey, people bleed over these films, so it is what it is. But Queen Amidala too, and Padme, I don't know what was up with that, because even as a child when I was watching these films, I was always watching it like, isn't Queen Amidala Padme? Like, what's going on? This is the same person. I'm so confused. Is this supposed to be a twist? And then in the third act of the film, the twist happens, and I'm like, yeah, they have the same face, the same voice, obviously. Is this supposed to, like, confuse the audience? And I was a kid then. It was just, like Padme and Queen Amidala being the same person was just blatantly obvious to me. I didn't get the whole whoa behind that. But Natalie Portman is absolutely beautiful. She was amazing in this role. This was not too far after Leon the Professional, which is for a child actress in that film, like holy shit, good. No wonder she got so much work ahead of her because, like, for anybody who hasn't seen Leon the Professional, man, does Natalie Portman kill it as a child actress. And I think this was like 5 years later, 6 years later, something like that. So, and when I was a kid, I didn't know who Liam Neeson was at all. So, it took me a few years later to figure out and remember that he was in this film and he played Qui-Gon Jinn. Did a good job at it, and Obi-Wan looks so young too. Ewan McGregor, in comparison to episodes 2 and episodes 3, just looks so different because he has so much more of a mature face in the later installments. And I did enjoy Hayden Christensen as Anakin much more than the Jingle All the Way kid. He was great in Jingle All the Way, and he wasn't as annoying in Jingle All the Way as he was in this film. And I'm not saying it's his fault at all. Certainly saying it's the way he was directed and written that makes Anakin specifically annoying. It's Anakin that's annoying, not the actor or anything like that. But yeah, his line delivery is just like cringy. But anyways, that's all I really got on episode 1. So, The Phantom Menace 1999. I'll have much more nostalgia on episode 2 because I specifically remember loving that film. So I am excited to revisit that one for sure. So we'll see how that goes. Till then, subscribe to Morgan Film Fan if you like to listen to my voice or if you like my film reviews. I will be back with more soon, so stay tuned for those. Check out what's on the channel. Stay tuned for what's coming. Until next review, have a good one. Take care and cheers.